One of the best teaching experiences that I've had was very early on in my teaching career. I came into a new job as a part-time lecturer, and I was given the role of leading a teaching course for qualified nurses. These were people who'd got some academic qualifications but didn't have a diploma or a degree in nursing, because it was quite early on and those things hadn't happened then. And it was just a fantastic experience. They were so motivated. They really, really wanted to study. They really, really were thirsty for education. And they were very demanding. They were very challenging. They were very demanding. They asked lots and lots of questions. And they were very, very positive about the learning that they had. I mean, the example for me, I remember, is it was always in the evening because they worked full time. And some of them would turn up in uniform, and they would come to the classes, and then they would go straight from the classes to go and do a night shift. And the fact that they got the motivation to come, to leave home early and turn up and then go and do a full night shift was just that sense that they really, really wanted to be there. And they were just fantastic students. One of the people who, I'm not sure, I don't know whether I've ever thought of him as an inspirational teacher, but somebody whose style I saw very early on, again in my teaching career, and one that I've tried to use, was somebody who taught me on my certificate in education about, got to be 20 years ago, 25 years ago. And he had a very, very relaxed style. He would just sit in with the group and have conversations with you and get you talking. And somehow, by the end of the session, you'd covered the material, everybody had engaged, everybody had joined in. You'd been really thoughtful. It was very theoretical. It made you really think about education. And I liked that. He was not directive, I suppose, and yet he took you in a very good direction in terms of learning about teaching. So that worked really well. He had an analogy that he used, maybe a metaphor even, which was about education. If you were going to go to France, for example, he would say you could plan it in advance. You could read a textbook about France. You could read the map. You could plan every single day that you were going to do, and you could set out and you could go to France. But all you would do is discover the things that you expected to discover. And what he said, when you're learning, what you should do is just get on your bike and go. You shouldn't take a map. You shouldn't prejudge where you're going to go. You should just literally get off the ferry and start pedalling. And it was a really interesting metaphor that he used, which was quite challenging, because I thought, no, because you might miss Paris. You might miss the Louvre. You could miss really important things. And he was saying, well, if you don't find them, then they're not important. You should go and discover the things that you really need to discover. And I thought that was quite an interesting attitude towards education as well. The impact of the National Teaching Award, I think, is an interesting one. It's opened lots of doors for me. I've got invited to things that I wouldn't have got invited to. I've had the opportunity to speak to people I wouldn't have spoken to. But also for me, maybe it's unusual, I don't know, but for me it gave me the opportunity to do a piece of nursing research that I would not have tackled. And that piece of research now I write about and I present about. And I think it's one of the most interesting things I've been able to present on around humanitarian nursing. And those presentations and developing those presentations and those ideas has been, I think, one of the really richest things that's happened for me in the last 4 or 5 years.